The Phantom does musical slash technical balance better than anything I have ever listened to. Okay, here's my sound preferences. I like a variety of different tunings, but really what gets my juices flowing, starting from the lower octaves, is in the bass. I like my bass punchy, tight, fast with a kick. I like a little bit of energy down there, maybe a little bit of warmth, but not too much into the getting into bass bleeding. It's got to have enough weight to make male vocals, make piano, cello, percussions, have the right tonality. When it comes to my mids, I do like my mids and mid clarity, but I don't like too forward a mid, so that's the upper mids I'm talking about. So keep the pinna gain down a little bit and not make it too forward a presentation. And when it comes to the highs, I do like my sparkly highs. At my age, I'm probably losing a little bit of the high frequencies, but not too much where it's sibilant and in your face. So that's what I like. The Phantom moves me emotionally. So
turn me up, I like my money like I like my niggas green. Face card, never decline of what I mean. Act up and you gon' make me make a scene. Only time you hear my voice is when they play me on the screen. Got bad habits, I'm not the one you wanna keep. She a trap star, put that lady on a tree. Got her ass so shook, she shaking like an apple tree. Yeah, this life ain't meant for you, but baby girl, it's meant for me. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean? This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. What it do? This my boo, she from the south. We running man just like these bitches run they mouth. I got the juice, but they still claim it, it's a drought. If I say I'm coming through, I'm about to flip the house. That boy crazy, say he tryna have my baby. Hold on, Slim Shady, just like Mariah, drive him crazy. Got him stressed, make him feel it in his chest. Ask him how it feel, just like a bullet with no vest. This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me. This lifestyle got girlies clocking on my teeth. This lifestyle can get you far, know what I mean? This lifestyle ain't meant for you, it's meant for me.
hello. Let me first start off talking in this video about the honor and privilege I've had listening to audio gear and giving you back my impressions. I've had the chance to listen to some of the best, if are not arguably the best that's out there currently, including the $17,000 Breeze Audio Fugaku. Phenomenal in their own rights. And then along comes another IM from a company that I've never heard of before that absolutely has blown my mind. This is the BGVP Phantom. This version that I have that was sent to me by BGVP is the Year of the Snake edition. Each one is serial numbered on the top. There's rumors that it's a very limited run, but there's good news on that as well. The original Phantom, which I want to get a hold of, uses the same driver configuration. It runs $899, which that does blow my mind, and I'll get into that in a bit. Then they came out with the Phantom Special Edition for $1,099. That one, same driver configuration, but slightly different tuning. They tuned down the bass a bit. Then they came out with this limited edition run for this year, 2025, Year of the Snake edition, with this maple burlwood and red resin shells. Absolutely stunning. I as a Canadian, it's like maple and red, like bing, 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 right? Phenomenal. Let's go into the about section. This is going to be a bit longer one, and I'm warning you right now, I'm going to shill the shit out of this set because I absolutely adore it, but I think it is phenomenal value. I think this set competes with super kilo buck sets up there. It doesn't do a single thing wrong, except for maybe being... No, I'm not going to say it's being too cheap, but it's cheap compared to those other ones. Let's put it that way. Let's talk about what's inside. I'm going to show you what the packaging, I mean, oh my God, did they not go stellar here? Inside of these very actually compact shells, they're medium size, very well done. Yes, they fit in my daughter's ears, but I didn't get a shot of that. My test guinea pig, as I called it last video, but I will. She tried them and it works for her smaller ears too. So that's the thing. Inside of these shells, there's an 8-driver Quadbrid system. There's 2 dynamic drivers and they're stacked one on top of each other. It was a bit hard to get some of this information out. From what I could tell, there is a double layer composite diamond-like carbon diaphragm, and then on top of it is another driver, a graphene driver, and they're stacked on top of each other. It comes out through a single tube. Now there's a single Sonyan 2300 BA. If you've heard any of my other videos, you know that I am a massive fan of Sonyan balanced armatures, and especially this one. I think it has such a phenomenal natural tonality, and there's probably nothing that does it better, maybe except for a dynamic driver, but I really love the mids output from this Sonyan balanced armature. And then again, if you've ever heard any of my other videos, you know I'm a huge fan of Knowles for the high end, and that's what they used in this one as well. So like all the magic sauce happening, right? Dynamic drivers for the bottom end, Sonyan BA for the mids, Knowles for the treble. And you keep going to Sonyan EST drivers for the ultra high end. But it doesn't end there. Then they've also put in a set of Sonyan bone conduction drivers. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about this as well. And these do enhancements, they say, from the sub bass up. But looking from, I'm going to see if I can find that little infograph that I saw. It looks like it actually has a lot of energy up around the 1K and has energy past that and below that. So that's really interesting. And what's even more interesting is what BGVP did. There is a little, can you see that little hole? That little hole is a direct output vent for the bone conduction drivers to where that's hitting you in your inner ear in the concha up up into there. So doing true bone conduction drivers. There is a 5-way acoustic crossover to make sure all of these drivers are very cohesive together. And yes, that's true. I have been very skeptical publicly about bone conduction drivers from the feedback that I received. In my journeys, when I was talking to the wonderful Simon Fisk from Plunge Audio, that Canadian who's making Plunge Audio IMs, he said he was playing around with it, and I took his word, and they didn't make a single damn difference. Well, I don't know what implementation Simon was using, but there is no doubt in my mind what's happening inside of this shell and what it's doing. And I've had enough experience with all the various kinds of bone conduction drivers, from the elastic kind that Pula Anvil uses, to the unique melody, Empire Ears, again, all different variations of bone conduction drivers. This is by far, I think, one of my favorites. It's subtle, but present. Absolutely. To sum up this IM in a nutshell, and I'll say that in my conclusion, this is the perfect all-rounder. It could be an endgame IM for many, because it certainly doesn't do anything wrong. Every kind of music was a musical treat. Okay, let the deep shilling begin. Sound. Okay, I'm going to do some, and I spent some huge amount of time. This review has taken me a month plus, and I wanted to get it right. I wouldn't just put me out there, my reputation out there, if I wasn't so damn sure this is exactly how I'm describing it. Okay. And I'll pull up a graph later, though, and this is part of the thing that was really funny. The graph is interesting in a way that it doesn't show the bass that you hear, and there is kind of a scoop around the 2K area that, again, you would look at it and go, well, that might sound a bit hollow in the mids, or a bit recessed, or maybe a little too warm. Nope. And then you look at the top end and you see that I'll pull up a graph. You can see what I'm talking about here. So the bass is actually it's got a nice bass curve, but it isn't super bassy. It looks like there'd be a lot of sub bass and some good mid bass. That's not exactly how it sounds. You can see that in the upper mids it is elevated, but gradually. You can see that they put a 6 to 7K sibilance dip. Yes. And there's some treble energy past that, and it has then a pretty steep roll off around the 10K area to not make it too sibilant and sharp. Like, yeah. Next section. What comes in the box? Well, and I love themes. Okay, BGVP went over the top. If you look at their special edition, even, and I know this is limited edition for this one, the special edition went fantastic as well. Same kind of packaging, same kind of everything, specifically made cable that looks baller. Color changing shells, the whole shebango. This packaging, though, and why I'm saying this is, I've tried other $5,000-$6,000 amps that just didn't do a great job of what BGVP did with all of this, right? So you take this nice box, you open it up, inside there comes with this really gorgeous case, and I'll show you that a little bit more. The IMs came in here. You can see that they have this little pull-out tray. Let's see here. It says open, so you open it. I mean, there is all of your 4 sets of ear tips, and the BGVP ones are some of the ones that I use all the time. The W07 tips are called their vocal ear tips. They have the W01s, which are their bass ear tips, and then they have balanced ear tips and a set of foamies. You know, absolutely stunning. This case is really gorgeous, fairly large too, which is really, really nice. And that's going to be because also I think they did a great job on that because they included this 4-core cable that they specifically made for the Year of the Snake. Everything just so well done. Black and gold here. It says designed by BGVP. This cable, I don't know if it was done deliberately, but to me, it does look like a snakeskin. It really does. That's the only thing that I can think of. The splitter, again, themed. Little gold wing nut on the end. Again, beautiful 2-pin cables, though they did put recessed ends on a non-recessed shell. It's my only knock against that. Solid 2 pins, but the rest of it, this cable is, by the way, if you don't like heavier, thicker cables, you might not like this one. Though that these sit very nicely in my ears, so the weight of the cable didn't really affect my performance. It's a thick boy, that's for sure. They did not cheap out on this cable. Absolutely stunning. The rest of it with the shells. Something else I should show you too. I mean, they did a really nice job of venting the shells out through the back as well. The nozzles have a brass nozzle, so again, that's going to be durable and not have to worry about, you know, resin chipping or anything. Nozzle's a decent width. Here I'm using some Osla Send-A-Fit light is what I'm using on here. And I also prefer a tip. The BGVP 01s, the base tip, also works great because the umbrella here is a little bit more firm, and I really think that's very useful when it comes to IMs with bone conduction drivers, right? To get the transmission of the bone conduction into your ears. So I think a softer umbrella would not work very well, and a stiffer one works great. So I do like the Osla tips for that. So let's go into some sound here, and then I'm going to do some sound impressions with music, and then I'm going to sum this whole thing up, right? So let's talk about the lower octaves first, which got me surprised really on the bass output of this and how balanced it was in the mix. It's deep and it has textured bass, but more importantly, it was perfectly weighted where piano sounds amazing. Drums have the correct harmonics to make drum skins resonate with a rich overtones with texture and depth of the notes. Great attack and very nice decay. Not too fast, not too slow. It was very, very well done. This is the really part there's not one part of the tuning that I would say the whole thing is so well done from the bass. And then let's talk about the mids, the 80% of where all music comes from, right? And I wrote it's a richly textured and deeply complex mid-range, neither pushed too forward or recessed, with amazing energy to really give vocals that pitch perfect tonality. Whether you're listening to Halsey or you're listening to Sting, they both sound very correct. I wrote, man, do I love this mid-range so much. The Phantom can express so much emotion in the music with great detail and subtle nuances to suck you into the music, keep you very much engaged. For headbanging air drums, this set is very fun. It's so fun. Now the top end, it done so, in my opinion, perfectly for me, and probably for many. Lots of air, lots of sparkle, never pushing it too far. The ESTs giving you that twinkle to the trailing edges of notes to add in some serious special sauce. ESTs do that, I think, better than any other kind of driver. The Phantom does musical slash technical balance better than anything I have ever listened to. Dramatic pause there. Really. I am a huge vocal fan. I am honestly blown away how special the Phantom mesmerizes me on how it renders all of my favorite artists. When I was listening to some tracks and whoever was singing, it was honestly like it was such an emotional, personal experience that you just felt, at least that I did, without any libations, that they were singing to me, for me. It was wonderful. I haven't felt like this in an IM since the Pen on Fan 2, where I just wanted to, while I'm listening to other sets, I was testing my unique melody Stardust, and I was thinking every time I would have a song on that and something that wasn't quite resonating with me, I really grabbed for the Phantom again and was like, I wonder how that's going to sound on the Phantom. And I haven't done that. I haven't felt like I wanted to do that since the Pen on Fan 2. And I felt like that on this set. The Phantom, for me, just has enough warmth and lushness in the mids to give great depth and body to vocals. Instrumental without feeling too thick or too congested. Musical with technical chops. Completely opposite of that Stardust. I then started writing some notes, and this is what happened. Another Brick in the Wall, Part 2. Pink Floyd, Cyndi Lauper, From the Wall Live in Berlin album. The guitars, first of all. It's the only way I can express it. Cyndi Lauper with her 80s voice. Female vocals and those drums together in this replay was oh my, really. The emotion that this brought out. I Rings, The Maypole Spins by Dead Can Dance. So when I listened to this song, it just came across so ethereal and cool with this amazing stage. I got so pulled into the music, I basically went and I listened to this entire album. I was so enchanted with the playback and what this was doing emotionally for me in the music. And that's a very special thing. I say that once in a while when I feel that stuff moves me, right? I'm not subtle when it comes to how things affect me emotionally, because I think that is a massive part of music. Something can just play music back, that's fine, it can be done like that, but does it move you? And for me, the Phantom moves me emotionally. So, and I really do love this stage. If you were on some wacky tobacky, I don't even know what would happen to your brain. It might just explode with how cool. Listen to Dead Can Dance on this thing. You'll like it. Switching over to some other music, how about some good old rock and roll? How about some AC/DC, Flick of the Switch? Oh yeah, this is a rock I am. Wicked, great, accurate vocals. Electric guitar is electric. Amazing treble with you. This set will still allow you to turn up the volume very nicely and give you a very intricate, detailed set. So very well done top end. While I'm listening to Lights, from Journey, and I have this in a DSF recording. Absolutely stunning. What a vinyl replay I wrote. The Phantom is so magical in the way it replays this song. Simply music. No IMs, they disappear into your ears. You can't hear anything simply but music. That's it. Phenomenal. And then as I'm going in through this review and this process, I'm picking sometimes random tracks that really caught my attention, and sometimes songs that I really wanted to get a good feeling of this. And one of those for me is also Poncho Sanchez, the jazz artist who makes and sells his own drums. Blue Train from Poncho Sanchez. What I wanted to hear is, do Poncho's drums sound like it should? Should it sound like they're so good that he should market and sell them? Yes, they do. And so does he, right? Trumpet is another very hard one to get correct. And when you have the bass and the texture of the bass and the trumpet going at the same time, sometimes one can get washed out over the other. Not in this case. Very deep, very layered, and very textured both. The trumpet is really spot on tonality-wise. Excellent micro nuances and technical details. Now, more bass. Poem of Chinese Drum by Hawkman Yim. Here I'm listening for the, again, bass texture. Drums have excellent texture and decay. The secondary resonances of the drum skins come off. You can hear them with great resolution and very, very... The other part of that got me on this track too was not only was you could hear all the trailing edges of each note, but the background of everything else was very dark. It was a very engrossing experience as well. Not all IAMs do that. It doesn't have the ability to layer and separate, where the Phantom does that very well. Now, I could talk about sources. I played it. This is not a source dependent IAM. If you put it on tubes, it will sound more warmy and tubey. Playing off the Ibasso DX340, that is my reference, with the 12 volt in. Very clean, very uncolored, amazing stage. If you like the Phantom, really opens up as well. Very nuanced, very detailed, fantastic. And so then I wanted to listen to Circle of Life by Tina Gao. She is that electric rock cellist. In this track, the cello and the strings, well, the cello is simply stand out. I'm listening for its weight, its depth, and it's lovely. The tonality of the cello is deep and it's textured. It sounds like I think it should sound like. And the staging was big, open. And again, what caught me was the sense of height, the depth and the height from the replay of this track. It didn't sound one-dimensional. It had really nice depth of the layering in the soundstage and height, where you could pick out different height, right? And again, I'm a big vocal fan, so Thank You by Dido. Do I love vocals on this set? Yes, very much. On the Phantom, they are phenomenal. They're fluid, so effortless. Just the way this set reproduces the music in such a natural way, while allowing you to pick up on the nuances and the subtle reflections in the vocals, right? The wavering of the vocal cords and the spitting into the mic and that kind of stuff, right? The grunge in Miley Cyrus and Melissa Etheridge comes through with the correct edginess you would want to expect. Kind of to sum this up, right? The Phantom. This is an amazing set with it's a real gem. Perfect balance of technical chops and musicality that not too many sets get right, that balance. warm where it needs to be in the lower mids, to add in a full a richness to the music and being more precise into the upper mids and treble for amazing clarity and resolution. It's perfectly balanced with a very organic bass presence to add in a great note weight and decay, and an extended and airy top end to bring out some amazing holographic 3D stage. Now, some sets give you that amazing 3D stage and it pulls you away, while the Phantom stage enhances the musicality side rather than pull you out of the experience. It sucks you into a kind of a more all-engrossing magical musical ride. It's the way I would describe it. I do think this set is a very much all-rounder, so tastefully done. Sounded good with everything I listened to. Drake, some Holly Cook, some reggae, jazz, oh my. Jimmy Smith on that Hammond organ, phenomenal. Miles Davis, you name it. 90s grunge, Sum 41, all of the stuff that I listened to. Put that together with a very cohesive tuning, and a complement of really well-chosen drivers. What you get when I think you put stuff together and you tune it exceptionally well. The use of that Sonyan 2300 BA for mid-range, for such an organic mid-range. The Knowles Rad BA for the highs. Crisp and clean, clear highs. And the Sonyan ESTs that add build to that on just the trailing edges, just enough to add in some very, very beautiful sparkle to the top end of the notes. But I think, honestly, the pièce de résistance was the use of those Sonyan bone conduction drivers that I was skeptical about, and I think maybe BGVP hit the magic solution with that direct vent hole, right output to your concha. Maybe that's it. I don't know. It adds in more textured bass than what on paper shows, for sure. A fuller mid-range, not missing anywhere else, right? That 2K dip isn't there. It's just a beautiful linear presentation. That extra dimension to the stage, I don't think it would have been possible to do without them. I mean, all in all, for whether you choose the original 900 or the special edition, which I think would be phenomenal at $1,100, or this one for a little bit more, if you could still get if you like the look and you could, the special limited run of the Snake edition. It's winner chicken dinner, right? All the way across the board, in my opinion. Amazing value in this set. It's competing for me in the best of the best that I've ever listened to, and that's saying a lot. In a just over a grand, it's a lot of money. I get it, but knowing what I know now, if I had 8 sets that I listen to once in a while, I'd sell them and buy this thing, because you could, from no matter what I was doing, what I was listening to or switching gear or in between, I wanted to pick up this set more than anything else that I have in my collection that I have right now at the moment. And that's saying massive volumes about this set and what they have done to this set to make it so very special. And you combine that in total with the whole presentation, the packaging, the cable. It didn't go wrong anywhere. Like BGVP, you killed it. You honestly, this is my first set that I've listened to from you, and I'm a huge fanboy. You made me, honestly. Thank you for watching my gushing review of the BG Phantom Special Edition, Year of the Snake Edition, which will sound the same as a Special Edition. But this is a Tone Deaf Monk. I'm going to have to drink some water from talking so much, and I thank you for watching. Out.